Creatures of Ava is a beautiful creature saving game that is available now on Xbox and Steam. The story of Creatures of Ava takes you on a heartfelt journey across the lush planet Ava, a place full of life, but on the brink of collapse due to a mysterious infection called the Withering. You play as Vic, a human conservationist who crash lands on this vibrant world and finds herself suddenly responsible for having to save its ecosystems and inhabitants. Ava is being torn apart by the Withering, which corrupts everything it touches, turning peaceful creatures into hostile ones, and transforming the once gorgeous landscapes into dangerous places. As Vic, you are not just an outsider trying to help. You're stepping into the role of the hero who needs to understand and repair the spiritual and environmental bonds that keep this planet's inhabitants connected. The story dives deep into the themes of conservation, spiritual connection, and the delicate balance between human intervention and the natural world. A vibe that really resonates if you're into eco-conscious narratives. The planet is divided into 4 distinct biomes, each with its own unique vibe, from peaceful grasslands to treacherous swamps. As you explore these areas, you uncover the deep-rooted lore of Ava, learning about an ancient civilization that once thrived on the planet, and the remnants of their technology, which you now wield to combat the Withering. The deeper you go, the more you learn about how everything is connected, and it's super rewarding to piece together the history of this world as you play. But the real heart of the story lies in relationships you build along the way. The locals are understandably suspicious of you at first. After all, you just dropped out of the sky onto their planet. But as you prove yourself by healing their world and showing that you're there to help, they start to warm up to you. It's not just the people either. The creatures of Ava have their own stories to tell, and interacting with them adds the emotional depth that really makes this world feel alive. Each biome tells its own story, not just through the characters, but through the environment itself. You'll come across ruins overgrown with vegetation, creatures that have been twisted in the Withering, and sacred sites that hold clues to Ava's ancient past. The storytelling is subtle and atmospheric, often letting the world itself communicate its histories and struggles. The voice acting also helps bring a lot of emotional weight to the game, making the story not just something you play through, but something you feel connected to. Playing Creatures of Ava is like stepping into a relaxing yet engaging mix of exploration, puzzle solving, and creature bonding. All without the stress of traditional combat. As Vic, you are equipped with some pretty cool tools: the Navitar staff and a mystical flute. These tools are your lifeline, letting you heal the planet's infected creatures, uncover hidden paths, and solve environmental puzzles scattered throughout the game. The game's main loop revolves around helping these adorable and sometimes intimidating creatures and using their unique abilities to move forward. Each biome introduces you to new species, and these little, or not so little, buddies are the key to overcoming specific challenges. Imagine needing a creature to cut down a bridge for you, or help clear out vines blocking a path. Each one has unique abilities that's crucial to your journey. To get their help, you'll need to play the creature's tune on your flute in a rhythmic minigame. It's a bit like learning a special language to communicate with them, adding a charming mystical twist to the gameplay. When it comes to platforming, Creatures of Ava nails it. Each biome is designed with both vertical and horizontal challenges, so you've got to think a little outside the box to figure out how to navigate. It's not just about going from point A to point B. Sometimes you'll need to revisit areas after unlocking new abilities to reach those hidden spots you couldn't get to before. This design really pushes you to explore every nook and cranny of Ava, which is perfect for those of us who love to take our time in open world games. Crafting is another big part of your adventure. You'll be gathering plants and other resources to brew up potions that restore health, boost stamina, or give you a temporary edge in tougher situations. The crafting system is pretty straightforward, but it adds a layer of strategy, especially when you're dealing with Ava's more dangerous areas. Plus, the campsites scattered around the world are super handy. They're like your little home bases where you can craft, store resources, and fast travel, which makes managing everything feel more smooth and stress-free. Even though the game focuses on non-combat mechanics, there's still a sense of danger. Some biomes are home to aggressive, withering infected creatures that can be pretty intense if you don't heal them in time. And then there are plants that turn defensive, and some might explode or try to trap you if you get too close, adding a little bit of tension to keep you on your toes. One of the coolest aspects, though, has to be the creature collection system. Unlike typical creature collecting games where it's all about battling, Creatures of Ava is all about forming bonds. Each creature you meet has its own personality and behaviors, making them feel like real living beings rather than just tools for solving puzzles. You can pet them, interact with them, and even snap some photos, which really deepens your connection to the world and makes your adventure feel personal and rewarding. There's also a skill tree, but to be honest, I forgot about it and had pretty low levels throughout the whole game and didn't have any issues. Creatures of Ava stands out as a remarkable game that successfully merges storytelling, gameplay, and world exploring into a cohesive and emotionally resonant experience. The game's non-combat focus is a refreshing departure from the typical action-adventure formula, emphasizing healing, exploration, and connection over violence. This approach not only makes the game accessible to a wider audience, but also reinforces the themes of conservation and respect for nature that are central to the story. Visually, the game is stunning, with each biome offering distinct visual styles that is both vibrant and richly detailed. The use of Unreal Engine 5 allows for a stylized yet immersive world that feels alive and ever-changing. The game's music and sound design further enhance the atmosphere, with the flute playing mechanic serving as both a gameplay tool and a means for deepening your emotional connection to the creatures and environments you encounter. But like any other game, it has its quirks that kept it from being perfect. First off, I have to mention Vic's dialogue during combat. If you're down to your last bit of health, frantically trying to heal an infected creature, Vic's voice is still as calm as can be.
Calm down. Calm down.
It just didn't fit the moment, you know? I was expecting some urgency, maybe a little panic, but nope. She's casually saving the world like it's no big deal. Then there's the issue of playing without sound. If you're like me and sometimes prefer to play games while listening to a podcast or some chill tunes, Creatures of Ava might get a bit frustrating. The game relies on you playing flute melodies to interact with creatures, but if you're not listening, you have to constantly trigger animals to display the notes, which gets old fast, especially when they're trying to attack you. There's an accessibility setting that helps by showing the correct tones automatically, but even then, it can be a little tedious. On the technical side, the game isn't flawless. In the second area, I noticed a decent amount of frame rate drops. And really, in general, the game is kind of buggy, with having been out for 2 weeks now, to the point that it makes parts of the game too easy. I ran into what I would consider a bug that locked me out of a specific area. Apparently, once you rescue an animal in the game, it's gone for good. So if you didn't use it to do something important, like lower a bridge or clear some vines, that content is pretty much locked away for the remainder of the game. I tried using an animal from a different part of the map. However, they're boundary locked to their own regions. The developers made it seem like this is intentional and said that it doesn't mess with the main story, but if you're a completionist like me, it's a huge bummer. And the last thing, once you leave a region, you can't go back. The game does give you a heads up, but it still feels a bit harsh when you realize you missed something and there is no way to return. All that said, Creatures of Ava is still a delightful experience. It's the kind of game that makes you want to curl up with a cozy blanket and just lose yourself in its world. There's a lot of heart here, even if the rough edges keep it from being a truly cozy perfection.